For Creamer Media's Polity, I'm Sane Dhlamini. Mbuyisa Makhubu's sister Ntsiki joins me to discuss her brother's life. You are Mbuyisa's sister. Your brother Mbuyisa carried Hector Pieterson after he had been shot by the police on June 16, 1976. Do you know the story of how come your brother tried to help Hector Pieterson at the terrible day, or was he at the same school with him?
No. Mbuyisa matriculated the previous year, and we were staying with my grandmother. Well, Mbuyisa was an activist. He was in the BCM, was in the youth branch of the BCM, but he kept that a secret because of the past that we had or what was going on at the time. My father left the country in '63 when Mandela and the other guys were arrested because was part of that ANC big wigs. So we've been with the special branch all our lives since he left, from about '63 until 70 something. They kept on coming, looking for letters, searching for this and the other thing. So I didn't want my family to know that he was in this thing because it would worry them. Even the march of the June 16, he never really mentioned it as in depth. He just said that the students will be marching tomorrow. But he wasn't marching. He was at home doing his own thing. The only thing that took him out of the house was the gunshot.
What sort of person was your brother Mbuyisa? Can you share any memories with us?
Yeah, Mbuyisa was a guy with a very, how do I put this? He had a sense of humor. He wouldn't not laugh when he was around. He always had something funny to say. There was no dull moment when he was. He was also very generous. He gave easily. He had a soft spot for people like small children and old women because he said they were defenseless. He would do anything. Mbuyisa would give you his jacket if you're cold. He would give you his food if you're hungry. He was a giving person.
Would you say your brother was a hero? How would you like your brother to be remembered?
Well, from my family, with the values that you had as growing up, he is not a hero. We are taught that your brother, if anybody out there is your brother or your sister, you cannot go past a person in trouble. But now the world and other people think that he's a hero. Okay, that's nice for him to be a hero. And how to be remembered? Maybe get some statue somewhere. Like around the time of June 16, talk about him so people remember who he was, because we don't know if we'll ever have him around anymore.
After your brother had helped Hector Pieterson, we hear that his life changed for the West. Can you tell us why Mbuyisa felt he had to leave South Africa in the late 1970s? Where did he go after he left South Africa?
The system was not happy about the picture. Secondly, they did find out that he's Lawrence Makhubu's son. Hence, there were ways that his father taught him to pose. That's why he did what he did, because his father told me that. And when my father left, Mbuyisa was 5. How to tell a 5-year-old that? You see. So it was the journalist, like journalists want the news, and it was the special branch people. So he wouldn't know which was which. He just felt unsafe. He wasn't sleeping because he had to run around and look at the cars coming in and going out, then he'd come back into the house. He wasn't eating. He wasn't even talking. He just answers that or asks that. He just went like. So somewhere along the line, I found out that he was feeling guilty about Hector. He felt that he maybe didn't do enough to save him.
We have heard that when your mom realized that Mbuyisa was leaving the country, she gave him the last money she had, which was 13 rand. How was your family's life after he had left the country?
Very, very, very bad. Like I said, that Mbuyisa was the type of a person who was always lively. There was this silence, this funny silence while he was still there. And when he left, we used to have a family Christmas. It was my grandmother's tradition. She'd do the ginger beer and everything, and everybody would sit around the table. Everybody had a seat. Every time we occupied the same seat. So 1976, when that thing was arranged, they forgot to put his chair. And when we were supposed to eat, somebody looked at the chair and said to Mbuyisa akekho. We started weeping and we didn't eat. And our Christmas ended that day. We never had Christmas again. Sometimes we don't even cook on Christmas. We eat bread and tea and something as paid on Christmas.
Do you believe that Victor Veneto, the man suspected to be your brother in Canada, is your brother?
You know, I'm going to be honest with you, that Victor Veneto confuses me. He has a lot of similarities to Mbuyisa, I mean, look-wise. And I read his transcripts, his hearing. Although somebody said, I said, Mbuyisa Makhubu said, no, I'm not Mbuyisa Makhubu. But some of the stories that he told have some similarities to what Mbuyisa could say. Not knowing that, because some people listen to what other people say and say the same thing, but not everything here, there. Some things are very similar.
A second attempt to conduct another DNA test by SA Ambassador in Canada, Ntsiki Makhubu, could finally put this matter to rest. Is your family happy about that?
About DNA being taken, we have to do everything, as I believe. We have to do everything so that when you say it's not him, then you show, you know. So anything that could be done to find out if it's Mbuyisa or not, it's welcome.
How did you feel when you first heard that EWN reporter Mandy Winner was working on Mbuyisa's life?
I must say, I was happy because he was waking up. Is it the right way to say it? He was bringing back something that maybe was put away, something that would make maybe Mbuyisa to be kind of forgotten, that he has to be found. And the way, the attention that it got, it's quite impressive. I'm grateful to watch that.
South Africa celebrates Youth Month in June. What does this mean for you and your family?
Oh, as much as it is painful for us for losing a lot of family members, we have a lot of family members. I also have an uncle died in Swaziland in exile. You know, I have an aunt in Canada who's still sick because of the stuff that she got from John Foster Square when she was arrested. My mother's younger sister. It took away a lot of family members. It gave us a lot of pain. We are in pain. From about the beginning of June, I'm very emotional. Secretly, when I'm in a bedroom and I think of my brother, I just weep away. But what has happened thereafter is worth it. Things might not be perfect, but there's a lot of change that I, as a person, is observing. You know, there's a lot of change. Kids are getting opportunities to go overseas and learn. Actors are out there. Sport is played by blacks are in the sport now. You know, there's a lot of improvement. People can stay where they want if they can afford it. I mean, those things before, you couldn't even sit on a certain bench because it was written no whatever. But I must say, from where I stand, I'm happy with what I see happening around people talking. You know, I think it's worth it.
That was Ntsiki Makhubu speaking to Crema Media's Polity about Mbuyisa's life.